Hello and welcome. My name is Carrie, and I am so glad that you have arrived here. We are going to go through a slow flow yoga class for a rainy day. If you'd like to have some music playing in the background, I have a Spotify link below. Feel free to put that on. And as always, please listen to your body, do what feels right for you in every given moment, and we'll begin. So to start, we're going to lie down on the mat. I think that's a good place to start. So getting yourself comfortable, laying all the way down without your cat there. And maybe bending your knees, having your feet out to the edges of the mat and letting your knees just rest in on each other. We'll bring our hands onto our abdomen, getting your spine nice and long. Close your eyes here and taking a moment to settle. Feeling all those parts of you resting on your mat, on the floor. Bringing your awareness to your breath, breathing in through your nose and back out through your nose. As you breathe in, breathing all the way down to your hands, filling your belly up nice and full. Allowing your shoulders to relax. And as you're focusing on your breath, see if you can get that hollow sound in the back of your throat, that wonderful ujjayi breath, that ocean sound flowing in and out, connecting that water element. Noticing any thoughts, allowing them to just trickle down like the gentle rain. And from here, let's take our knees over to the right and then bringing them back to center, taking them over to the left and back to center again. We're going to wiggle our feet back in. Hands can come down by your sides. Let's take the right leg up to the ceiling. We're going to point and flex that foot. See how our hamstrings are feeling today. And then with your toes pointed, let's make some circles with your ankle. And then the other direction. And then with your heel pushing up, toes pointing down, we're going to slowly lower this leg down towards the mat to the count of 20. So nice and slow. As you do this, bringing your navel towards the mat, keeping that lovely ujjayi breath flowing. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Letting your heel touch the floor. And then we'll lift this leg up just an inch or so off the mat, keeping that heel pushing out. We're going to take the leg up and down, small movements. So just an inch or so. We want to be targeting this deep muscle that goes from our inner thigh across the hip bone to our lower back. And then with your heel a few inches off the mat, we're going to take the heel and the leg just an inch or two on either side. Again, small, subtle movements. Keeping that navel drawn in. And then from here, let's take our toes over to the right so that our leg is on an angle. And we'll take that angle up and down, small movements. And then taking your toes to the left, so you're pigeon-toed, and we'll take that leg up and down, targeting all angles of that deep psoas muscle. And then resting that right leg down, let's stretch the left leg out, noticing how the right side feels compared to the left. Maybe reaching your arms up and overhead, taking a nice big morning stretch. Then letting your arms float back down by your sides. We'll bend the knees again. And this time, let's take our left foot to the ceiling and flexing and pointing your toes. Getting a nice stretch in your hamstrings here. And then pointing your toes, let's make some circles with your ankle. And then the other direction. And then flexing your foot again, we're going to lower this leg down to the count of 20. Coming back to that ujjayi breath, that hollow sound in the back of your throat. Drawing your navel in. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Letting your heel touch the floor. And then lifting that leg up an inch or two, heel still pushing out. Let's take this leg up and down. Again, small movements. Then taking your heel from side to side. And then we'll take our toes to the left and sending that leg on an angle up and down. Small movements. And then taking your toes to the right and up and down again. Beautiful. Let's bring both knees into our chest, giving yourself a lovely morning hug, maybe rocking from side to side. And then keeping your right knee in, let's stretch that left leg out, drawing that right knee towards your right shoulder. And then we'll take the left leg up to the ceiling, bringing the right ankle and bringing it over across, coming into a figure 4 shape here so that your right ankle is just underneath that left knee. Maybe threading your hands through and drawing that left knee in a little closer to your body. Stretching out the hips here. And then we'll release the hands, bringing that left foot back to the mat. Right foot can follow. And then we'll bring the left knee into our chest. Stretch that right leg out. Taking a few breaths here. And then letting that right leg float back up to the ceiling. We'll cross the left ankle over that right knee, bringing your hands through, coming into your figure four. Getting into that left hip this morning. And then releasing your hands, bringing both feet back down to your mat. And setting your heels up underneath your knees. Feet are hip width apart. And we're going to do a little flow here. So as you inhale, you're going to push into your heels, lift your hips, and bring your arms up and over your head. And then as you exhale, you're going to lower your hips, bringing your hands back down by your sides. So moving back and forth with your breath, making sure your neck has enough room. Maybe coming back to that ujjayi breath, that ocean breath, hollow sound in the back of your throat. Connecting again with the element of water flowing back and forth, giving your spine a massage. And the next time that you lift your hips and your arms up overhead, just holding here, keeping those knees hip width apart. We'll let the arms lower back down, keeping your hips up. Taking a couple of breaths here. Feeling the weight in your heels. And then very slowly lowering yourself back down, feeling each of those little bones touching the mat. And then feeling the beautiful support. We'll bring our knees back into our chest. Taking a breath here. Maybe placing your hands underneath your knees. We're going to rock forward and back a couple of times. And then coming all the way up to a seated position. Just like a little sprout that's coming up out of the ground after all that rain. So sitting up nice and tall. Maybe take your shoulders to your ears and letting them roll down your back so your chest is expanding. And then we'll bring our fingertips to the floor. Let's inhale, reaching all the way up. And exhale, floating them back down. Inhale, reaching up. And exhale, back down. And once more, let's reach all the way up, bringing the palms together and bringing them back down to your heart. Taking a moment, closing your eyes here. Maybe setting an intention for this rainy day. And then we'll reach the fingertips back up to the ceiling, letting them rain down to the mat. Resting your fingers on the mat. We'll take the left arm, reaching it up. And let's come over to the right. Breathing into that space. And then slowly coming back. We'll take the other arm, reaching it up. And coming over to the left. Breathing into that space. And then coming back. Beautiful. Let's do a little twist. We'll take the left hand to the right knee, bringing the right hand behind you. Nice gentle opening with your shoulders as you look over that right shoulder. Spine nice and long. And then coming back to center, let's take the right hand to the left knee. Left hand behind, looking over your left shoulder. Breathing all the way back down into your belly. And then back to center. Let's come on to our hands and knees, coming into our table position. We'll get the spine moving here. So wrists under shoulders, fingers nice and wide, knees under hips. And we'll work our back. So coming into a round cat as you exhale. And then inhale, coming into that sway back cow. Moving back and forth and bringing your Ujjayi breath back into focus. Moving with your breath. And then coming back to a neutral spine, let's bring our hips to our heels, coming into child's pose, resting your head either on stacked fists or all the way to the floor. Breathing all the way up the back body. And letting go. And then we'll sit back up onto our heels. Maybe taking your arms out in front, making some fists, and just rotating those wrists. And then the other direction. And shaking them out. We're going to bring ourselves up, curling the toes and rising up into a forward fold. So bringing your head over your hips. Maybe bend your knees a little bit here, letting your shoulders relax. Maybe grabbing hold of your elbows and swaying from side to side. And then coming back to center, coming back to stillness, uncrossing your hands. Let's bend the knees nice and generous and slowly roll up. Keeping your chin tucked until you're feeling stable and then letting your shoulders roll down, chest expanding. Coming into our mountain pose, so feeling all four corners of each foot touching the mat, stacking your knees and your hips above those ankles, shoulders and ears above your hips, coming into mountain pose, top of your head rising up above the clouds, rising up above the rain. And as you inhale, let's reach the arms all the way up to the sky. Palms come together and bringing them back down to our heart. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, reaching up, maybe grabbing hold of the sun that's up there somewhere and pulling it down into your heart. And once more. Beautiful. Let's send those fingers back up to the ceiling, letting the arms float back down like raindrops, letting them come behind your back, maybe holding onto your hands and pulling them down towards the floor, or maybe even taking hold of your elbows. So just squeezing those shoulders together. Taking a breath or two into that heart space. And then from here, let's hinge from our hips, bringing the fists up towards the ceiling. See if you can bring your head down towards the floor. And then releasing your hands, bringing them back down to the mat, coming into our forward fold here. So in order to protect your lower back, let's imagine we're squeezing a block between our thighs. Then we're going to reach the arms up nice and big and wide, all the way back up to the ceiling, to the sky, and back down to our heart. Beautiful. Let's do that one more time, reaching up. And then letting your arms float back down, raining down behind you. Grabbing hold of the fists and pulling them towards the floor. Heart expanding, shining your light out on this gray day. And then slowly hinging at the hips, bringing your head towards the floor, fists towards the ceiling. Breathing here. And then releasing your hands back down to the mat. Squeezing those thighs and bringing the arms up nice and big, like you're painting a nice big sunshine, and bringing it back down to our heart. Beautiful. Let's take that left leg and bring it forward. We're going to take the back heel and just angle it a little bit on a 45-degree angle. So we're going to come into warrior one. So sinking into that front knee, keeping the back leg nice and straight. Hips are facing forward. Taking a moment to connect back with that ocean breath. Feeling all 4 corners of each foot touching the mat. And then we'll sweep the arms back up, reaching up, relaxing the shoulders. As you look up, imagine you're holding the sun in your hands. Feeling nice and strong here. Tapping into the energy of the warrior. And then bring your palms together. We'll bring them back down to the heart center. Being a warrior of love. Let's inhale. We'll straighten the front leg this time, reaching up. And then exhale, sinking back down. Inhale, straightening that left leg, and exhale, bending in. moving with your breath. And this last one, let's just settle back here into warrior with your hands at your heart. We're going to come into warrior two from here, taking that right leg and rotate your heel so that your foot is parallel to the back of the mat. So your hips are on a 45-degree angle, and then we're going to stretch the arms out, getting them parallel to the floor. Shoulders relax, and then gazing across those fingertips, making any adjustments that you need to. Breathing back down into your lower belly. And let's bring the right hand to that right thigh. We're going to flip the left hand up, and let's come into a little reverse warrior. Taking some breaths into the front rib cage. And then we'll bring that left elbow down to the left knee, right arm reaching up and over, breathing into that other rib cage. Good. Let's bring the right hand all the way down to the mat. We're going to walk our left foot so it's parallel to the right, coming into a forward fold here, letting your head relax down. Maybe shaking your head yes and no. Breathing here, coming back into your Ujjayi ocean breath. And then we'll walk our hands back to the back of our mat. We're going to take our right toes to face towards the end of the mat. And we'll come into warrior two on this side. So sweeping that left arm to the back, right arm forward, shoulders relaxed. Bending into that front knee, making sure you can still see your big toes. Gazing across your right fingertips. Coming back to that ocean breath. And then we'll bring the left hand onto our thigh, flip the right arm up and over, reverse warrior. Breathing into the rib cage. And then letting your right elbow rest onto your right knee. Let's reach the left arm up and over. Stretching those fingertips so you get a nice stretch in that left rib cage. And then coming back into our warrior two. Let's bring the hands back together to our heart center. We're going to rotate that back foot so that it's on a 45-degree angle. Hips are facing forward this time, bending into that front knee. Coming into warrior one here. And let's reach the arms all the way up to the ceiling, shoulders relaxed, knowing that the sun is always shining above the clouds. And let's bring the palms together back to your heart. We'll do a little flow here. Inhale, straightening the front leg, reaching up. And exhale, sinking back down. Moving with your breath. And last one, settling back at your heart, being a warrior of love. And then we'll bring that back foot forward. Shake those legs out. Shake our arms out. Good. Let's come into a little balance pose this morning. The trees are loving the rain. So let's see if we can be trees today. So we'll start with our right leg as our standing leg. We're going to just bring that left heel off the floor. Maybe bringing your hands just to that Hara center, our center of gravity right below our belly button. Maybe sliding the left foot up your leg, wherever it feels comfortable for you. Making sure that you're not putting too much pressure right at the knee. And when you feel like you have that, let's reach the arms up like beautiful tree branches reaching up towards the sky, reaching up towards the sun that's always there. Beautiful. Let's bring the palms together and back down. And we'll release that left leg, giving it a shake. Shake the right leg out. And we'll do the other side, so left side. So you might find, depending on the day, one leg might be a little stronger than the other. So let's see what today will bring. So left leg is our standing leg, bringing your hands onto that center of gravity. And when you're ready, you can lift your right heel up, maybe placing that foot along the side of your leg. It can go to your calf or a little bit higher, wherever it feels comfortable for you. Finding that stability. And if you need to hold on to a surface, that's okay too. And if you can reach the arms all the way up, growing long and tall, like all those beautiful plants that are loving the rain. Breathing here. And then bring your palms together and back to your heart. Let's release that leg, shaking it out. We're going to come all the way back down onto the mat. Stretch your legs out in front. Giving them a little shake, taking a moment in our staff pose. So shoulders can roll down your back, setting them up over your hips. Ears can come over those shoulders. Closing your eyes, maybe tucking your chin in a little bit. So you're engaging your core here. And see if you can relax your legs. The legs are supported, no need for them to be stressing out. We'll do a little flow. So if your back is tender, you can always bend your knees a little bit. We're going to reach the arms all the way up towards the ceiling and then exhale, bringing them down to your toes. Inhale, reaching up, and exhale, fold. Moving with that beautiful breath. And the next time you fold over, just hanging out here wherever you are. Breathing all the way up the back body. And as you exhale, sinking deeper. We'll slowly roll back up. Let's bring the right leg up with us. We're going to cross it over the left leg, sitting up nice and tall. Maybe taking your left arm around the right knee. Right arm can swing back behind you, planting that hand on the mat, using it as a pivot point. So you get nice and long and then twisting into the shoulders. Looking over your right shoulder. Coming back to your ocean breath. And then slowly unwind. Let's uncross that leg. We'll do the other side. Left leg can come up and crossing over. Let's wrap the right arm around. Left arm comes behind. And nice long spine, getting tall and then turning, looking over the left shoulder. Coming back to your ocean breath, that hollow sound in the back of your throat. And then slowly unwind. And let's bring our feet together, taking a moment to connect with our foundation, our roots. So giving your roots a little massage, massaging your feet. See if those tender roots need any attention. If there's any tender spots that you weren't aware of. Maybe even massaging the tops of your feet, releasing any stuck energy that might be there. And then we'll bring our fingers around the toes. Let's slowly let our nose come down. Breathing all the way up the back body. And then slowly coming back up. Let's bring the knees up with us. And let's imagine we're holding on to a rope. We're going to slowly lower ourselves down, engaging your core, breathing and lowering all the way down onto your mat. Stretch your legs out, maybe bringing your arms up and overhead again. Nice full belly breath, letting go. And then bend your knees. We'll send the arms out into a T shape. We're going to come into a spinal twist here. So letting your knees float down to the right. Taking your head over to the left. Breathing all the way down the length of your spine. And as you exhale, allowing your back to relax. Allowing your back to let go. Allowing your back to unlock. Coming back to your beautiful Ujjayi breath. And then we'll slowly bring the knees and the head back to center, maybe wrapping your arms around your knees, bringing them into your chest and rocking from side to side. And then setting your feet back down onto the floor, let's stretch the arms back out. We'll let the knees float down to the left, head to the right, allowing your back to relax here. Shoulders are resting. Being with your breath. bringing your knees and your head back to center. Let's place a hand on each knee and taking those knees into a circle. And then the other direction. Maybe even taking your knees in separate directions. And then the other way. And then we'll send the legs out nice and long on the mat. Taking your palms and letting them face up towards the sky. Taking a nice full breath down into your belly. And letting out a sigh. Taking this opportunity to integrate all of the poses. Maybe imagining that beautiful rain raining down on you, showering you with hope, possibilities. And today's meditative poem by Dana Faulds is called Beneath the Surface. What will I know if I go below the choppy surface of the mind? Focus flows, and there are no fixed points. Slow currents swirl and slip still deeper. I grow very quiet. The mind attends the subtlest sensations. It is a different world, and I am an explorer of these inner realms where nothing stays the same for very long. Energy shifts and changes, and I find peace beneath the surface. Bring it back with me, hold it in my hands like a small white bird, and then release it. That peace might fly where it most is needed, beneath the surface. So slowly bringing yourself back up into a seated, comfortable position. Your spine nice and long. Sitting up tall like those beautiful flowers beginning to emerge from the moist soil. And we'll bring our hands together at our heart center. Let's do a collective breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. So breathing in and out. May you all have a wonderful sunshiny day. Namaste.